now we're going to start with a lesson on equivalent fractions. We've got that basic understanding of how fractions work. So now we're going to talk about equivalent fractions. So the word equivalent, I'm going to give you a second to think about that word, and I want you to think about what word you hear when I say equivalent. If you said the word equal, or you were thinking of equal, you are absolutely right. Equivalent fractions are fractions that are equal in comparison. So remember, you cannot change the size. If I'm talking about 2 half pieces, that would be 1 whole, because 2 halves is typically written like this, 2 over 2. And remember, I said fraction bar means divide. So 2 divided by 2 equals 1. And you can see that I have 2 half pieces, and it does equal 1 whole piece. I know what you're thinking, but Danielle, what if we did not start with 1 whole? What if we only had half of that candy bar and the other person ate their half? So that's not even here anymore. Well, I want to share with somebody, so now I'm going to break it further down. So let's talk about this for 1 second. I have 1 half, and I have 2 of these 1/4 pieces. Let's see how they measure up next to each other. If you're noticing that they're the same size, excellent observation skills, because we have 1 half and we have 1/2. Okay, I could break this down even further, but I'm not going to in this video. I just want you to see the relationship of how we have not done anything to change the size of the entire piece. We're just breaking it down into smaller chunks. That's what fractions are, just smaller pieces of bigger pieces. Let's take it a step further. So you're now asked to create or give an equivalent fraction. So you might see something that looks like this. You might have a problem that says 1/2 equals question mark over 4. You might be able to look at this and go, oh yeah, I remember Miss Danielle said that there were 2/4 and 1/2. But what if you couldn't remember that? What if you didn't have these pieces? What if you were distracted when I was teaching and now you're stuck and you don't know what to do? I'm going to give you a trick that you can use anytime, no matter if you have manipulative tiles like this or not. So you're going to look at what you're trying to find here. Okay, we don't know, but we do have some information at the denominator section. So take a look at that. One of them is a 2 and one of them is a 4. Now that we've figured out that we are increasing, we know that is multiplication, we just need to ask ourselves, what is the rule here? What did I do? I multiplied it, but I don't know what I multiplied it by. You can figure out how to get from 2 to 4 by asking yourself, 2 times what is going to give me 4? And if you said 2, then the answer is correct. So one thing about fractions is that they are going to be whiny if you do not do the same thing to the top that you have done to the bottom. It's going to start crying about it's not fair, and nobody wants to hear that. So if you multiply by 2 on the bottom, you're going to need to multiply by 2 on the top as well. And everybody, all together now, 1 times 2 is 2. So I have demonstrated without the manipulative tiles that 1/2 is equivalent to 2/4. And I can prove that by bringing back out the manipulatives to show you 1/2 is equivalent to 1/2. If you're ready to take it a step further, keep watching. So I have a new problem here. 4 over 8 equals, we don't know, over 4. So I'm going from 1/8 down to 4ths. So I know that given the choices are multiply or divide, I know that since I'm going smaller, obviously I'm dividing. Now the big question is, dividing by what? 8 divided by what will give me 4? If you said 2, you're absolutely correct. Now remember, you're going to have a screaming, crying 4-year-old throwing a tantrum here if you do not do the same thing on that side. So 4 divided by 2. Everybody all at once? 2. Now, just to prove to you that that is correct, I actually brought out some eighth tiles. So let's see if this is correct. 4/8. So I've got 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, 4/8. And we are saying that it is equivalent to 2/4. So let me grab my fourth tiles and let's see if that's correct. That's 1/4. And there's 2/4. You can see that they line up exactly, so they are a match, so our problem is correct. Now, one quick thing that I want to give you a hack for. You will notice that this fraction and this fraction, both numerators or top numbers, are exactly half of the denominators or the bottom part. And the reason for that is because we're talking about half of it. Okay, we're talking about 1/2. Same thing with the 1/2 fraction tile. The top number is exactly 1/2 of the bottom. So if I were to put this 1/2 tile down, if that theory is correct, all three of these would be the same size. So let's check it out. Look at that. 1/2 is equal to 2/4 is equal to 4/8. So there's a little trick for you. When your numerator is half of your denominator, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be 5/10, it could be 50/100. Your answer is always going to be equivalent to 1/2. Good luck with your equivalent fractions, guys. Leave me questions down in the comments below and I'll try and answer them.